Tuesday, August 7th, 2 days. Back in the barn, in the farmyard today. Whale is working his way from his corner office there in the LBC down to the outdoors to join us in a minute. We'll be talking, boy, not everything. There's too much stuff going on today. It's just it's Hard Knocks. Yesterday was Hard Knocks Eve, so today's Hard Knocks. It's the Browns time, so we're gonna see what Mr. Mayfield and the gang and starting. I doubt they'll have anything on that in the first episode, but already some fun stuff happening in the Big Brother Little Brother program that Josh Gordon started with one of the young receiver there. I can't even think of his name, but he is in trouble. More injuries. I got to pull up this tweet here. The Vikings. I actually even listened to a little local radio, which I don't do all that often, but I did listen to some local sports radio today just to try to see if I could get a little bit of a feel on the whole Nick Easton thing, because he is sitting out watching practice. He's supposed to be a starting guard. He had ankle surgery last year. He's got back problems, neck problems. Elfline had ankle shoulder surgery in the spring. We lost Searles, Compton. Who retired? Somebody retired. Joe Berger retired. So what was a half-ass sketchy offensive line is
full-ass
sketchier,
sketchy,
which is sketchier, which is super good if you invest like $85 million into a quarterback. So that's kind of a wait and see. Really, really not excited as a Vikings fan, and maybe even someone with a Vikings future bet. I got them at 14-1 earlier in the year, which was nice, but you still got to get there. Tough NFC. A lot of tough pass rushes they're going to face. I mean, just what do you think of some of the? I guess the Bears are all right. The Lions have a pretty good pass rush, especially off the edges. Just right there in the division, there's some tough. I don't. The Vikings have the Rams again this year. Pretty sure the Eagles.
Yeah, they got a first place.
Yeah, it's a first place schedule. So there you go. Rams, Eagles, and what is the
Saints?
What's the last division? Saints. Yeah, there's some tough pass rushes. I'm getting alerts here too. Paul Manafort news down on the bottom of my screen. So, yeah, remain to be seen. I'm going to try to follow that a little closely. Who knows? Because this guy just goofs around a lot on radio. But the local guy said he talked to somebody at camp, and the Nick Easton injury might be worse than they're letting on. Which, good, awesome.
Oh no. So what do the Vikings do to combat that scheme-wise? Is
Less
there anything?
7-step drops, yeah. Go to quicker passes, screen passes, bubble screens, quicker drop back, shotgun, anything.
Yeah. It's definitely something to be concerned about. Man. Yeah. I was pretty. I still am, overall pretty positive about the Vikings heading into this season. I think they can overcome some of this stuff with scheme. I'm hopeful, at least. They brought in DeFilippo, Flip. We'll call him Flip this year. So
we're gonna call him Flip.
We're gonna call him Flip. They brought in Flip as the offensive coordinator, which I think was a really great move because losing Shermer. When that first happened, I was like, "Oh man, this could be not a great, could have implications." But getting Flip to replace him was pretty nice. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table from a play calling perspective. Hopefully, it's got lots of innovative stuff to help protect Cousins, because Cousins is not a kind of guy you want under duress. When things went sideways for the Redskins offensive line last year, the Redskins offensive line last year was the walking wounded. There was one game they rolled out there, and I think all 5 starters were out. they really, really had a rough go of it. And in those games where
And
they were,
maybe we should link to some of those stats, but there were some frightening stats about Kirk Cousins under pressure, which is it's tough to translate that from one offense to another, from one situation to another. So many things change. Different coaching staff, different receivers, different backs, different line, different. It's an indoor stadium at home. I mean, just a whole different mindset of possibly finally playing somewhere that you've decided you wanted to play. So, I mean, it's a whole different situation. It's hard to translate, but it's hard to ignore too that he did have some trouble under pressure.
I heard a pretty cool snippet on that on the Ringer Pod that we both I think listened to, where Kevin was kind of glowing about how amazing the facility is for the Vikings. They got like world class setup.
It looks nice
up there, and maybe they can work some magic, because Elfline was one of the low key most important pieces of any contender, I felt like, last year, that got absolutely no coverage. He came in as a rookie and solidified the center, the middle of that line overnight, and that really, I thought was important for giving Keenum the opportunity to kind of find himself last year. Diggs and Thielen still are good enough receivers that I feel like you can kind of adapt a pretty good scheme. And so I'm not ready to really push the panic button on this yet. But I got my hand over the panic button because of what happened with Cousins under pressure last year, and really just under pressure in his career. So good luck to the offensive line. Hope they get healthy in that beautiful new facility up there in Minnesota. And let's talk more about Hard Knocks, man. Hard Knocks debuts tonight.
Let's talk about a TV show.
The Cleveland Brownies. What's your favorite Hard Knocks memory, by the way?
I think it got brought up today because he signed that contract, but I can't think of the guy's name now. Falcons, help me out with that one.
Oh man!
Either way, the guy signed his extension or his contract today, and he was the one for the Falcons. He got cut on like Hard Knocks. Like those, I love those moments where it's almost like cringy, but it's fun to like see inside of kind of behind the scenes, even if it is maybe possibly a little sad. We're gonna go cut a guy. You should record this.
I
like that stuff.
It's been a while
Bengals
since I was it's been a while since I was really into Hard Knocks. The last one I remember really getting into was the one with the Jets and Rex Ryan, and he just building up like this fullback. John Connor calling him the Terminator, and all the clips of him with like the third and fourth team, and the guy didn't make a hell of a difference at all whatsoever. It was just, he loved talking about his fullback John Connor, Terminator.
I had to go look who it was last year. Like I had to look just now. I couldn't remember.
Was it Tampa?
Because it wasn't good.
It was Tampa, right?
Yeah, that one wasn't. I don't even know if I watched much of that. The Rams the year before.
It was the Rams the year before?
The Jeff Fisher one.
Oh, yeah. Man. Oh, I do remember that now. That was pretty bad. Who was it before the Rams? Both of those were busts. Who was it before the Rams?
I can't believe I'm looking way back, but this has been a process.
I remember the Dolphins one with Joe Philbin. Do you remember
I like the Bengals one.
The Bengals one was great.
So,
I remember
we're just going to list TV shows we like.
Well, Hard Knocks is
I am a big fan. Season 3 of The Office.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's classic. Yeah. Right.
Pretty good.
No, but seriously,
it's been on for a while.
The Dolphins one with Joe Philbin, I thought was pretty instructive, because it kind of gave you a look at how the players didn't really have a lot of respect for Philbin, and you kind of saw it and were like, oh, this guy's not going to make it through the season. And sure enough, I think he did. He either got fired mid-season or in season or right at the end of the season. But whatever the case was, Philbin was rough.
What are you looking forward to with this one?
So
besides Baker time.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson, I don't think anything really, of him as a coach. I don't think he's a great offensive mind. A lot of people do. A lot of people give him credit for constructing strong offenses when he was the offensive coordinator with the Bengals. I felt like he really inherited a strong offense from Jay Gruden and just didn't screw it up, as opposed to really kind of bringing anything new to the table. And so I don't like Hugh Jackson particularly, and that's not a hot take. Guy went 0-16 last year and has won 3 games in his entire tenure. Am I overstating 3 games? Maybe he won one game? 3? He's won almost. He's just incredibly overmatched as a head coach, and and so the idea that he's gonna he may be entertaining. Guy loves the camera. He loves to talk. He loves to say crazy things for for the clicks, I guess. So I'm looking forward just to seeing Hugh Jackson and what he's got and what he says and what he does. From a scheme standpoint, I want to see if Greg Williams has learned anything from the disaster that was last season. They had put together maybe one of the all-time most futile pass defenses, and that was kind of the key that undid them. There was no team that didn't have the pass offense that they needed to come back against the Browns. We saw Brett Hundley do it in overtime. We saw a lot of games where they should have won based on how they played, but then they gave away the game at the end with the pass defense just utterly crumbling. He used to play Jabril Peppers 40 yards off the line of scrimmage, for crying out loud, in 3rd and 10. But
besides the coordinator there too, I did feel for the defense. They had some good pieces. I think they had some highly talented players that just got put in shitty situations all the time by the offense. The turnovers, the constant turnovers. The defense would go out there, do a decent job, stop somebody, and they'd have to be on the field 3 plays later thanks to play calling / Kaiser / just Browns being Browns. So, I mean, that's never easy for a defense, getting put short fields, getting put in situations where they're on the field too often, too long, too many times in a row. Yeah, it's tough. Hopefully, I actually have high hopes for that defense. I'm excited to see them. What's the corner?
The guy they just drafted, Denzel Ward out of Ohio State, number 4 overall pick.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his first name. Ward. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. And their D line could be pretty good.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit to ask of the linebackers, but it could be a good defense if Tyrod plays well. Could be an okay offense. Like, this is a team that could win more games than last year.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
we've been over this a bunch. We've been over this a bunch, but Tyrod Taylor is an underrated player. He took a terrible Bills team last year to the playoffs. He gets no credit for that. People point to his limitations and miss the fact that he was able to avoid turnovers, particularly in pressure situations, which was, that's paramount if you're the quarterback right now in the NFL. So I like Taylor. I'd like to see, what the relationship between Taylor and Baker Mayfield is like. Baker Mayfield obviously is going to be the star of this thing. Everybody wants to, this kid has star written all over him. People want to see how he develops, how he's going to go out there, and they probably want, they want to see like a little bit of a bumpy road for, does he have some issues? Can he get better? Can he improve his preparation? Things like that are going to be fascinating to watch. Baker Mayfield's going to be the lasting thing that we remember from this, unless Hugh Jackson does something totally crazy. So that's probably it for me. What about what do we got coming up this week?
We will. I mean, can I get a promise from the editor? Is there a podcast out tonight? I'm talking to the one and only Whale right now.
I'm ready to go tonight. You ready to go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it getting released tonight, or are we waiting until the morning?
Oh yeah, no. I'll put it up tonight. I'll put it up tonight for sure.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Tonight, yes. We've talked for division previews, so we will be previewing 2 divisions out of the NFL, the National Football League. So I'm not going to tell you which. I almost did just then. wanna it'll be surprises until the last one because obviously so we'll try. We are going to try to keep it as short as we can, but these always turn into long podcasts where we just go through. We're gonna go through 8 teams. It's gonna take a little bit. We'll have a third person on talking, possibly somebody a little closer to the situation in one of the divisions than we are, and it should be a lot of fun. We're going to do all 4 of those as we make our way through the preseason, get through all 8 divisions, and see what we can't figure out as we kind of move towards a season where I've placed a few already, and you can say there's some value lost, I suppose, on some of them, but there's still some things we can find as far as win totals, futures, division stuff like that. So we will try to hunt some of those down, and yeah, we'll be back here doing this every day. Check this out on the website, deep, and yeah, if you do like the podcast, go ahead and share it with a loved one. Have somebody else listen to it. We always do love more listeners. It's nice. The numbers have been good, which is fun. That's just started as kind of a fun thing last year, but definitely to see if we end up with a nice size audience for this football season, because that is kind of our bread and butter. And yeah, we will check you tomorrow.